Okay, so we will come to a new concept, rather two concepts, pleiotropy and polygenic inheritance from the same lesson, Principles of Inheritance and Variation. So let us proceed with it. Now, what is pleiotropy? Okay, it's a very new word for you all. What is pleiotropy? Pleiotropy is a phenomenon whereby one particular gene, okay, or a pair of alleles is responsible for expression of more than one type of phenotype. Okay, more than one phenotype. All this time we have been seeing that one particular gene or one pair of allele responsible for one character. But here what is happening? That is, a pair of alleles or a particular gene is responsible for expression of more than one type of phenotype. So we can say here one gene multiple effect. Okay, one gene multiple effect. Polygenic inheritance is polygenic. From the term also you can make out many genes. That means more than one type of genes are responsible for the cumulative effect of one phenotype. So particular phenotype is the result of the working of more than one type of gene. Okay, so here what can we say? We can say many genes, one effect. Okay, so let us learn into the details of this pleiotropy. So pleiotropy is what? Pleiotropy is the phenomenon in which a single gene exhibits multiple phenotypic expression. One particular gene, of course, its alleles will be there. So a particular allele, let us say AA. Okay, capital A, small a. There's a pair of alleles for the gene A. Now that will definitely express one character, not just one, it will express more than one character. If it happens so, we will call it as pleiotropism or pleiotropy. The pleiotropic gene affects the metabolic pathways resulting in different phenotypes. Okay, so this gene, okay, ultimately expression of genes are what? They affect the metabolic pathways. Okay, they affect the metabolic pathways in the process by the formation of proteins. So these particular, when it is a pleiotropic, when the gene is pleiotropic, that means it affects more than one metabolic pathway. Okay, maybe it's forming the pigments as also it's affecting the say formation of another enzyme. So ultimately expression will be in the form of two different characters. Okay, so that is the different phenotype. Example, we have few examples. One is phenylketonuria. It is a genetic disorder. Details about phenylketonuria we will be learning later also. Okay, the example which will make your concept more clear. I'm going into the second example first. Okay, that is starch synthesis and seed shape. Okay, starch synthesis and seed shape in pea plants. Okay, in pea plants, starch synthesis and seed shape is controlled by the same gene. Okay, one gene but two phenotypes. Starch grains. Okay, starch grain and production of starch grain as also the shape of the seed. It is controlled by the same gene which has two alleles, capital B and small b. Okay, it has two alleles B and B. That means the gene B, let us name it as B. Gene B is responsible for giving the shape of the seed as also the starch grain size. Okay, now see here, when these two genes, how can they combine? These two alleles, how can they combine? Either homozygous, capital B, homozygous, small b, or heterozygous, capital B, small b. If the combination is capital B, the grain size, starch grain size is seen to be large. But under that condition, the seed shape appears to be round. Okay? When it is heterozygous, the size appears to be intermediate, neither small nor large, but seed shape continues to be round. Okay, same combination. This gene is affecting both the two phenotypes, size as well as shape. But the combinations, like it depends upon what type of alleles are combining. Okay, like say in heterozygous it becomes more prominent. Heterozygous condition gives us intermediate grain size, whereas the shape remains round. That means what? Here capital B is dominant over small b with reference to seed shape. That is why you are getting round. Whereas with reference to grain size, here it is showing incomplete dominance. Okay. Then when it comes to homozygous small b, size is small, grain size is small, sheet shape, it comes to wrinkled, which is a recessive character. So in this case also, small is the recessive, large is the dominant, but also there is an intermediate character in between due to incomplete dominance with reference to grain size. So what do you see? We see that the same gene is responsible for two characters, but at the same time, not necessarily they will always work in the same manner. That is, if it is dominant, always they will be dominant. No, the same combination of alleles may be either complete dominant, showing a complete dominance, or maybe showing incomplete dominance. It all depends upon the type of phenotype it is expressing. Okay, so this is an example of pleiotropy, as also we can cite this example as incomplete dominance, for incomplete dominance. Okay, now let us go to the second concept, that is polygenic inheritance. Now what is polygenic? As I told you, many genes, one effect. So here, type of inheritance in which traits are controlled by three or more genes. Okay, the traits are controlled by three or more genes. Such traits are called as polygenic traits. Okay, traits are controlled by three or more genes, and these are called as polygenic traits. The phenotype is the result of contribution of each allele. Three or more genes, so each gene is contributing to the expression of the phenotype. Whatever we are seeing, it is the result of the collective result, cumulative result of each of the genes, each of the alleles, in what combination they are present. It is also known as quantitative inheritance. Examples we see in humans: human skin color, human intelligence. These two are very common examples. Okay, the human skin color that you see, different colors of skin, each one of you, even in within your own home, okay, within your own family, if you just see, you will observe that we vary with reference to the skin color, each one of us. Intelligence also varies that way. Okay, here we will focus on human skin color. Taking this example, we'll try to understand the concept. So the skin color is the quantitative inheritance or cumulative phenotype expressed due to the working of three genes. Three genes, they collectively work together, and then you get the color of the skin. Okay, those genes have been named as A, B, and C. Now, skin color is due to release of a pigment called melanin. Okay, so the release of melanin, it depends upon those three genes. Okay, so quantity of melanin determines the skin color. Now, melanin release is due to the three pairs of polygenes A, B, and C. Now, the dominant alleles, okay, these are the three genes, okay, the dominant ones, capital A, B, C, they release melanin, whereas the recessive forms, they do not release any melanin, okay. So, these are the alleles, okay, these are the alleles. Now, in an individual, there will always be pairs, okay, like say there will be pair of A, there will be a pair of B, there will be a pair of C, which may be homozygous, heterozygous. Remember, all these three, that is A, B, C, are independently genes. So each of them have their own alleles. Of course, that is only two alleles each. So let us see a cross, which will make your it will give you a clear picture of it. Say the parents are very dark and very fair. The parents, okay, the pair of parents, they are very dark, very fair. Very dark will be when all the alleles or all the genes are dominant, and very fair will be when all the alleles are recessive. Okay, so the genotypes will be AA, BB, CC. Pair of A, pair of B, pair of C. So these three genes are collectively releasing sufficiently high quantity of melanin, due to which the person shows a very, very dark skin color. On the other hand, this person, what is happening? They are not releasing melanin due to the presence of all recessive genes. All the alleles are recessive. So consequently, that person appears to be very fair. Now the gametes. The type of gametes are A, B and C. Okay, the three types of gametes are A, B, C. Quite obvious because they are homozygous, so you do not get many different types of gametes. Now, in the other case, the gametes are similarly small a, small b, small c. So what will the F1 generation be? It will be a heterozygous for all the three genes. Okay, F1 generation is heterozygous for all the three genes, and that gives an intermediate skin color. That is, here in this pair, A is releasing melanin, but as small a is not releasing, okay, B is releasing, small b is not releasing, capital C is releasing, small c is not releasing. So what happens? The release of melanin gets reduced by 50% compared to this very dark parent. Okay, it reduces to 50%. So what happens? Consequently, the skin color lightens. Okay, becomes light. So you get an intermediate skin color. Now the gametes of this. Okay, what will be the gametes of this person? The gametes will be of 8 types, 8 combinations. To find out the gametes, earlier I had shown you how to find the gametes for an individual with heterozygous condition of 2 pairs of genes. Okay, 2 pairs of genes I had shown you earlier. Now I'll show you how to take out the gametes for when there are 3 pairs of genes. Okay, heterozygous condition, 3 pairs of genes. So in that case, what you do is first draw a square this way. Of course, this is the rough work. You draw a square. First, you select any 2 pairs. Okay, any 2 pairs. Here I've selected A and B. You may also select B and C. Result will be the same. Or you may select A and C, but only 2 pairs. So the similar ones I write on one side and the other similar pair I write on the other side. Then you combine them. So you get these 4 combinations. Next, what you do is, all these 4 that you got, you will write again on one side. Okay, and the left out pair, whichever pair was left out, here which was left out, CC. So I write on the other side. If suppose in the first instance you selected B and C, so you will get here with BC combination. Okay, so this side what will you write? AA you will write then. Okay, but here what have I done? I have done first with A and B, and then the third pair I have taken on the second attempt. Okay, second time I have taken. So finally what do you get? You get a combination. You can see A, B, C, small a, B, C, A, small b, capital C, small a, small b, C. So this way you get 4 combinations. You get, 8 combinations. And these 8 combinations are the different 8 types of gametes that this person is likely to produce during meiosis. Okay, so 8 combinations possible. Now the cross. Let us see, come to the cross here. Now the crossing you can see here. We have taken 2 similar individuals with intermediate skin color. Okay, 2 individuals with intermediate skin color. So they are producing this, one individual producing this 8 gametes, the other one also producing this 8 types of gametes. Now when we are doing this type of cross, it does not mean the pair of parents will produce all of these offsprings. What are the chances? What are the probabilities we are trying to find out? So how many? 64 possibilities, okay, of offsprings, type of offspring, 64. Okay, so let us see how. So here, if the gamete with the dominant genes and also the gamete with the dominant genes from the other parent happen to combine together, then what will you get? You will get an individual with all dominant alleles. Okay, you will get an individual with all dominant alleles. As all dominant alleles are present, result is this person shows very dark color of skin. Okay, next what we do is, next you take, like say if there is a combination of this gamete which has one recessive, 2 dominant alleles, okay, happens to combine with all the 3 dominant alleles. Okay, what will you get? You will get 5 dominant alleles in the offspring with only one recessive. As 5 dominant alleles, so quite obvious the amount of melanin secretion also will be at a higher side, on the higher side. Okay, with only recessive one, recessive only one is existing. Okay, you have 5 dominant ones. All the 5 they're releasing melanin. So comparatively, the release of melanin is higher on the higher side. So this individual will also be dark. Okay, now irrespective of which one of them alleles is recessive, which of them is recessive, like say here small a is recessive, in this case small b is recessive, but that is not a concern here. The concern is how many, quantitative. Okay, how many dominant alleles and how many recessive ones. Higher the dominant alleles, darker will be the color. Okay, higher the number of dominant alleles, higher will be the darker color, higher will be the melanin release. Lesser the recessive alleles, so darker will be the color. Okay, so here you can see in this case small b only one, small c only one, so they are dark. Likewise in these 3 cases also. So you get 6 individuals which will 6 possibilities of having a dark child, not very dark but dark. Then the next combination, here you see how many recessive ones are there, 2. Okay, 2 recessive alleles, 4 dominant ones. So again, still now the dominant alleles are on the higher side. Okay, so the release of melanin is little higher. So here the individual appears to be fairly dark. Likewise here also 2 recessive, 4 dominant, 2 recessive, 4 dominant. I repeat, it irrespective of which one is recessive and which one is dominant. We are not concerned with which one of them. The 3 genes, out of the 3 genes, how many recessive and how many dominant. That will ultimately give the skin color. So here you get 1, 2, so 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, so here you get this many individuals who are having a fairly darker color, skin color. Okay, the next you see here you see 50%, 50%. 50% is, what is that? 50% is dominant, 50% is recessive, as like the parent. Okay, same here, irrespective of it. So here intermediate, they will give intermediate colors. All the green that I represented here, they are showing intermediate skin color. Now next what do we see? We see that the number of dominant alleles are decreasing if there is a combination of, like say, small a, capital B, small c, gamete, and let's see this one. Okay, and small a is a, b, and capital C. So it depends upon what type of gamete. What is the gamete carrying? The gamete is carrying how many recessive alleles or how many dominant alleles. So that will ultimately give us the offspring. So in this condition, what happens? The skin color appears to be fairly light, on the lighter side. Okay, the person is fair. Okay, comparative to the previous ones. Then in this case, what do you see? The combination of, like say, A, B, C, and the combination of A, B, capital C. So only one dominant allele existing in one of the gametes. That means this condition will appear when out of the 2 gametes, only one gamete will carry a dominant allele. Okay, only under that condition it is likely to happen. Okay, only under that condition this is likely to happen. So here the skin color is comparatively very light. Why? Because only one dominant allele. So the release of melanin is very, very low. The percentage of melanin present in the person will be quite low. Then one case you will see, okay, one case you will see here where both the gametes carrying recessive genes, okay, they as recessive alleles, they combine and give us a combination of an individual with all recessive alleles in his or her body with no release of melanin. As there is no release of melanin, ultimately what happens? The person is very, very fair, extremely fair. Extreme case. This is an extreme case, and of course, as you can see here, very fair and very dark, only one out of 64. So you can see the chances are also less. Chances are highest for these intermediate ones. Okay, so let us see the ratio now. So here you can see what happens. Very dark 1, dark 6, fairly dark 15, intermediate 20, fairly light 15, light 6, very light 1. So ratio comes to 1 is to 6 is to 15 is to 20 is to 15 is to 6 is to 1. This is the ratio of in case of polygenic inheritance of skin color, when there is a cross being made between two individuals both with intermediate skin color. Okay, so maximum chances of getting an intermediate skin color. Now again, if a person, okay, if a person with say fairly dark skin, this gametic combination and a light, okay, they combine together, then again the range of the skin color, okay, it will again, what will happen, it will depend upon, there is a very much, there is a possibility of a very fair skin, okay, very fair skin, but very dark skin it will be rare, because it may not happen also, okay, because here you can see for A there is no dominant allele in this person, so there is no possibility of two dominant A's coming in the offspring. So that particular pair of couple will never have a very dark child. Okay. So in nature, you will find all these different combinations. It exists in human population, and that gives us the different skin colorations. Okay. So this was the concept on polygenic inheritance and pleiotropism. Okay, two different concepts which we got to learn. Okay then, thank you for your listening. Next day we will continue with a new concept further.